Hello students, welcome once again to online platform of Little Flower School, Salempur. Good morning to everyone. This is Archana Mishra with GSE of class 4th. Last day, we have discussed about the adaptation in plants. Let's revise all the portions which we have discussed within 2 minutes. Okay, let's recall the topic. First one, about the definition of adaptation. Adaptation means, just in simple language, I am trying to make you understand what is meaning of adaptation. Adaptation means the place where we are living, either we are suitable or we are feeling comfort there or not. Means this is about the animals, and if we talk about the plants, the habitat in which they are living is whether suitable for their growth, for survival or not. That is called the adaptation. The way they live or the way they grow and the place where they grow is suitable for them, and how they change their characteristics and how they are provided with the special features that matters to for the adaptation. And in that context, we studied the classification of adaptation. Based on the adaptation of plants, we have categorized the plants into two. First one was the terrestrial plants. Terrestrial plants means the plants which grow on land. But we know that land is not plain everywhere. Somewhere it is up, somewhere it is down, somewhere rain occurs too much, and somewhere there is desert-like area. And all these different categories of land have categorized the plants into different features. Okay, and based on that, terrestrial plants were further classified into several categories. And slowly we have covered all the classification of terrestrial plants. We studied about plants on hills, then plants on plains, plants on mountains, plants on desert area, plants on sea coast, then plants in marshy area, and the most important variety of plants which I told you was the mangrove trees. What is this? Mangrove trees. Do you remember where they grow? Do you remember where these mangrove trees grow? This grows in marshy areas. Where it grows? Marshy areas. Okay. And then further we studied the second categorization of the plants, that is the aquatic plants. We have studied about the definition of aquatic plants, and today we will start from there itself, from the aquatic plants. We have studied briefly that day about the aquatic plants and its classification, and today again we will continue with the same. Aquatic plants are the plants which live in water. What is that? Which live in water. Wherever you are sitting, please tell with me, as we are recalling in the class, no? Do you remember my class? When we come the next day, after each lecture, we used to recall together. Along with you, I used to tell all the topics and the definitions and all the things which we have studied the last day. Similarly, You are not in front of me, but from your home only, when I am telling all these definitions, no, when we are recalling, tell with me, okay? Don't feel shame to recall that I am sitting at home and I will not tell loudly. Okay, tell with me. What is the definition for aquatic plants? The plants which live in water. Okay, based on that, we have categorized the plants into three parts. Namely, first one is the floating plants. What is that? Floating plants. Second one is the fixed plants. And the last one is the underwater plants. Underwater plants. Let's study one by one about them. First one, floating plants. What is meaning of floating? When we go to some rivers or some places to visit in the sea areas, what we see? We see that boat is floating over the surface of water. Means to be on the surface of water, not to sink down. Okay. Here the term floating itself clarifies the meaning of this. Floating plants means the plants which float on the surface of water. The plants which float on the surface of water. Tell with me what we studied. The plants which float on surface of water is called the, what is that? Floating plants. Now let's understand why this plant is floating on the surface of water. The reason behind it. These plants, no, they have the spongy stem, green fleshy spongy stem, and this stem is like a sponge in which air is filled, and it makes the plants light in weight, and due to light weight of the plants float on the surface of water. Once again I will tell the reason for this. What is this? The reason for floating plants, why they float on the surface of water. These plants have a spongy stem in which air is filled, and this makes the plants light in weight. That's why these plants float on the surface of water. And one very common example of this plant is water hyacinth. What is this? Water hyacinth. Do you know the common name of this plant? Water hyacinth? Jalkumbhi. What is that? Jalkumbhi. Okay. This is all about the floating plants. Now, the next categorization of aquatic plants is fixed plants. What is that? Fixed plants. Here, the term fixed means what? If we talk about this ball, behind the board you are seeing the ball, no? This is fixed. If we try to pull it, nothing will happen. Will anything happen? No, it is fixed. It will not move from its position. But as far as I am concerned, I am standing here, and now if I try to move, I can move, no? I am movable, but this wall is fixed. Similarly, about this plant, fixed plants are the plants whose roots are submerged in the mud at the bottom of the water bodies. At the bottom of the water bodies, and the stem of the plant is above. The stem of the plant is above. Okay. The plant, once again I will tell the definition for this fixed plant. The plants whose roots are submerged in the soil or in the mud, and the whole body part of the plant is above the water surface. So these are called the fixed plants because their roots are fixed inside the soil at the bottom of the water bodies. Is it clear? Yeah. Now we will see example of this fixed plants. One very common example is lotus flower. What is the speciality of this lotus flower? Remember your subject GK. This is the national flower of our country. Okay. Yes. Science is a subject which relates to each and every subject, to every point of the our locality and society. Okay. So when we are studying the examples or facts, we have to correlate each and everything together. Okay. Yes. This is about the fixed plants. Now, talking about underwater plants. What is underwater plants? Here also name clears the meaning. Underwater means, if I tell that I am underwater, means my whole body part is inside the water. This is condition of this plant. Underwater plants. Its full body part is inside the water. Its full body part is inside the water, and the stem of these plants are long and they are on the surface of water. Okay. And now this is inside the sea or inside the water bodies. You may be bothering about one thing. If they are inside the water bodies, what happens when waves come? Waves you are knowing, no? Okay, I will explain you in one line about waves. In the higher classes you will study in detail, but for time being, just understand the meaning of waves. When the tsunamis and all this comes, no? Volcanic eruptions and these things occur, the water in the water bodies just move very fastly, and in the speed they rise up and come down. They rise up and come down. So this is called the wave. You will learn two words about the wave, crest and trough, when you will go in higher classes. Okay. For time being, you understand that wave is nothing but the rising and falling of the water inside the water bodies. Okay. So when these waves come inside the water bodies, what happens? These plants are uprooted or not? We will see what happens with them. When the waves come, do you know what happens? When the waves come, this stem are, I told, they are flexible and long. When the waves come, as they are flexible, they bend down and the wave passes from above of that, and these plants are not uprooted easily. Okay? Do you understand? Do you understand the meaning of this? Did you understand? This is about the underwater plants. These plants are not uprooted easily because their stem is flexible. What is meaning of flexible? Can be bended easily. If I talk about my hands, I can bend in this direction, any direction, no? So this is flexible. Okay. But about bones, can we bend the bones? No, no. This is rigid. Flexible means a thing which can be bended easily. Okay. This is about the underwater plants. But if their whole body part is inside the water, how they will breathe? They breathe through the air spaces which is present in their stem. How do they make the food? they make the food or they breathe through, they respire through the air spaces which is present on the surface of their stem. They breathe through the air spaces which is present on the surface of them, surface of their stem. Clear? Okay. This is about the categorization of the aquatic plants. Now, we have finished about these two categorizations, terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Now we will study about next categorization of plants based on their adaptation, and that is insectivorous plants. What is that? Insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants. Okay. Let's study about the insectivorous plants. These are the plants which grow in the soil that is poor in minerals. What I told? These are the plants which grow in the soil that is poor in minerals. What is speciality of this plant in or the soil in which they are grown? That soil is poor in minerals. Okay, these insectivorous plants are grown in the soil whose mineral content is not good, and they eat insects to get enough nutrition. As the name suggests, insectivorous means we can say that they are insect eating plants. What are they? Insect eating plants. We have studied about the animals, and we have studied that some animals are there which are carnivorous, means flesh eating animals. We have studied, no? But today we will study about these plants, special plants, and we will see that these are the plants which are eating insects. Surprising, no? Really it is surprising. These are the plants which eat insects in order to get enough nutrition. And some of examples we will see. What are the examples of this type of plants? Venus flytrap. What is that? Venus flytrap. Then next one is pitcher plant. What is that? Pitcher plant. And sundew plant. What is that? Sundew plant. Venus flytrap, pitcher plant and sundew plants are the examples of insectivorous plants. Okay? Here we will first discuss about the names of these plants. Venus flytrap. What is meaning of trap? If I say that you are playing the cricket match and when ball comes, what you do? You catch, no? You catch like this, no? I am not a good catcher, that's why I am not throwing up because I can't catch if it go to up. So if you throw like this, you catch it. What is meaning of catching? Trapping. And one more sentence I will tell about this trapping. Fish are trapped in the net, in the water bodies, no? Trapping, catching, no? Similarly, here, trap, flight trap. If we divide it into two parts, we can see one is fly and next one is trap. Flight trap means catching the fly, catching the fly. And here also pitcher plant. This plant is in the shape of pitcher. Pitcher, you know? Now summer has come, no? And in everyone's home pitcher may be there. Not everyone, but some of the persons, they like to drink the water from the pitcher only. And next is sundew plants. Sundew plants. Why its name is sundew plants? Because its It looks similar to the sun, like this, like this. It has wings like this. Okay, not the wings, real wings, but the leaves are like this, like wings. So here name comes like this. Now we will study the special feature of this plant. The leaves of the Venus flight-shaft plants are like a trap, like this. Okay. And when an insect comes and sits, suppose this is insect, this stalk is insect, just suppose. Okay, if this comes, they are snapped shut, they are closed like this. Suppose this, my hand is the leaf of this Venus flytrap, and this stalk is what? Insect. When it comes, it will close, and this insect will be eaten by this leaf. Okay. Okay. Yes. And what about the pitcher plant? The hollow leaves of this pitcher plant are filled with nectar. Nectar means sweet juices. Juices that are present inside the flower, which is sucked by the butterfly. Similarly, in the narrow leaves of this pitcher plant, nectar is filled. Okay? And this insects of flies, they come to drink this, and when they sit over this for drinking the nectar, what happens? This lid closes, and when this lid closes, the insects are eaten by this plant. And this Sanju plant, the last one, has sticky hair. This hair is sticky in nature. This hair is sticky in nature. Stick means, getting attached. If my hand is sticky, if something is put here, it will be sticking over this. And when the insects come to sit over this leaf, what happens? They are caught on this, or they are trapped by them and eaten by this plant. Okay? This is all about the insectivorous plants. Okay? What are the insectivorous plants? Let's revise now itself. They grow in the soil that is poor in minerals, and they eat insects to get enough nutrition. Clear? Yes. Now, I hope that you are writing the important topics, because first day itself I told you to take copy and note down this important points. Now the last portion of your first chapter we are going to study, that is fungi. What is this fungi? We will study in detail today about the fungi. One thing about this is, they are neither plants nor animals. They do not come under the category of plants nor animals. They are neither plants nor animals. Okay? These fungi are neither plants nor animals. They are among the certain organisms which do not have a chlorophyll. One more thing is that they do not have a chlorophyll. This chlorophyll is absent in this plant. Fungi. Okay, this first thing I told, that they are neither plants nor animals, and they do not have a chlorophyll. Means they cannot prepare their food themselves. That's why they do not come under the category of the plants. And then how do they get their nutrition? They get their nutrition from the other organisms. They depend on their food for the other organisms. One very common example is mushroom, mold, and yeast. Let's write this: mushroom, then mold, yeast. Okay, these are the examples of the fungi. That one example I will give you. Bread you are seeing, no? If it is spoiled, what happens? Green color we can see, no? That green color is of fungi. Okay, this is the way how different plants adopt in their environment. Now our chapter is finished. Okay, you do one thing. You revise all the topics of this chapter, and next day when we come, we will discuss about the exercise. Okay.